Because all of our audience here probably can come from different industry competitors. So it is the intention of the Linux Foundation to conduct all of the activities accordance with the applicant antitrust and competition law. Therefore, why we need to follow all of these laws. So we need to avoid discuss some sensitive information like pricing or marketing or sensitive industrial information here. If you have more information, if you would like to know more about this antitrust law, go to the link here. We have a link here with this antitrust policy. If you have questions about it, you can contact your own company counsel, or if you're a member of Linux Foundation, we also have a name here for you, Andrew. Great. In today's meeting, we are going to talk about the OpenChain AI SBOM self-certification and with the ISO standard 42001. So our leader of the work group, Matthew from ARM, will talk about the current status and where is the direction for our OpenChain AI SBOM self-certification. We also invite the Xiaobo Yu from Alibaba Cloud. He's the expert of the standardization department of Alibaba Cloud department. And he would like to share with us about how the OpenChain AI SBOM self-certification interact with the ISO standard 42001, 4203. So hand over to you, Matthew.
Thanks, Mary. Appreciate that nice introduction. I want to kind of have a general chat with people in this audience about what we do next with the AI SBOM guide that was created by this group last year. But our learning colleague from Alibaba Cloud kind of has come to discuss, and we kind of picked this up on last time. We probably don't want to create our own ISO standard, or we might want to explore alternatives for where we can get this AI SBOM guide to dovetail in with other standards. I think I'd like to open the conversation after the next presenter, because I think my learning colleague here from Alibaba Cloud can present on kind of one possible option here of how it might fit in with ISO 42003, 42001. So maybe I can hand over and you can present now, and we can open up the discussion afterwards. That seems fair. Xiaobo, are you able to present your slides? You're on mute if you're trying to.
Xiaobo is muted.
Xiaobo, can you hear us? I spoke with Xiaobo earlier today and presented some slides on the topic. I will send him a note in the chat.
Yes, I'm contacting him as well. It's quite late in Chinatown now.
Do you have Xiaobo's slide? Oh, you're there.
Oh, great.
Sorry.
No worries.
I just muted myself. Let me share my screen.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Oh, no, we did see your slides. There we go. There we go. So your screen and no slides.
Let me try another one. Try this. Yeah. Here we go. Can you see my screen now?
We can, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll start. Okay, okay, it should be, okay. So actually, I'm going to introduce a general way forward of how to implement the AI SBOM into the ISO 42001 serial. So let's have a general, let's have a quick review of the ISO 42001. So actually, ISO 42001 provide requirements for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continuing improving a AI management system within the context of organizations. So actually, the ISO 42001 is officially published in December 2023. So actually, if you look at the general contents of ISO 42001, it doesn't really touch directly to AI SBOM, but actually it do have some objective, which is the transparency and explainability, which can have some implicitly link with the AI SBOM. It has the clear descriptions, which is the transparency related to both the characteristic of an organization operating AI systems and to those systems themselves. So actually, it also provide a reverse examples of what will happen if we do not have the transparency and explainabilities. So this is the two parts within the Appendix C. And there's another part which in the Appendix B, which touches the transparency, which is the objective for responsible use of AI systems implementation guidance. So it really have a very general descriptions about what kind of objective need to be considered within the AI systems, and one of them is the transparency. So that is all this really task that within the ISO 42001. So things the 42001 has been already published. So one of one's way forward is we may consider to propose the AI SBOM details into the ISO 42003, which is the guidance on the implementations of ISO 42001. And the latest status of the ISO 42003 is just approved work items. And in the next face-to-face meeting, which will be about to open in the end of April in Singapore, they will discuss the structures and how to implement the 42003. So I think this is a very good time windows to bring these items on tables, which is to implement AI SBOM into the ISO 42003. And I give and this is a general standard structures of 42003. So actually, they have very similar structures with the 42001, but the content is slightly different because the 42003 just to specifically describe how the 42001 can be applied. So in this case, the 4.2 AI objective and planning to achieve them. This chapter will highly likely to introduce some of the transparency, the definition, some of the further descriptions, and also they have the appendix, which is the same structures as the 42001. They have the C2.2.11, which is the transparency and explainabilities. So this is the place that we can put the details of the AI SBOM. And I think we can further describe what is the components and what further contained in this component within the Appendix 3, Appendix C of 42003. So I already gave general examples of how to implement AI SBOM into 42003. So in the chapter 6.2, we can put some general descriptions about what is transparency, and why it is so important, and why the transparency can be linked to ASBOM within this chapter 6.2. And later in the appendix C.2.11, we can implement some of the content within the compliant guides provided by the OpenChain. So we can generally describe the transparency and explainability, and to make some requirements like the organizations should provide ASBOM and other related materials. And in terms of the ASBOM, we can separate that into three main components, which are data set, models, and related facts. For example, the safety and security. And then we can have further descriptions about what really included in the data set, information set, which is, for example, the data set type, the size, and also we can put some examples of what should be included in the models, like name, model date, model versions, and it really depends on the information that we should discuss within the AI working group, and then we can propose such kind of contributions to the ISO 42003. Yeah, and that's all of my proposal. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate you going through this and proposing how it can link to the AI SBOM story. I open it up for discussion, this topic. I want to know what people's thoughts are on what's been proposed, how it's linked to 42001 and 3. And I also noticed there's a few folks that are also in the SPDX community on here as well. So comments on, fields on this slide, for example, dataset type, dataset size, etc., whether that is included in SPDX, and whether we also want to include things like transparency and explainability in the OpenChain AI SBOM guide. Lots of questions from me, but open it up to the group for people's thoughts and comments.
Oh, great. I saw Karen.
Yeah, so thank you for doing this presentation. This is great. I did a similar presentation for Linux Foundation AI group because they want to get their framework into 42003. Just so folks on the call know, I'm one of the contributors to that specification, as well as I work day to day with the technical editor on that ISO. So with the other group, Vicki Haley is actually going to come in and talk about how we can collaborate on building and putting some of the content from Linux Foundation into that handbook. And I think what got proposed are a great starting point. One thing that I could do is share the table of contents as was mentioned. It's very similar. What we're trying to do is it's really how, the details from a development or an implementer's point of view to get certified for 42001. So it follows the very similar structure to 42001. So again, I am more than willing to offer to bring in Vicki Haley, and we can talk about how, we get some pieces there, or with the Linux, the AI group that I'm working with, because you pretty much have to be an ISO representative, and I don't know if there's others on the call today. What we're doing is we have many subgroups, and we take a section that is going to be in the developer handbook, and we actually write the words, and then myself, I post it up to the main group. And then so sort of being a catalyst between the two organizations, because there is that limitation. Unfortunately, you can't just contribute unless you're part of the ISO world on these documents. A couple of other things. I don't want to talk forever, but SPDX has gone to ISO and is going through the process with its version 3.0.1 to get certified. And it's very close to being certified. So that might be something that, I'm going to review your SBOM guide and share whatever I know. But that might be something else we want to connect as putting, because for sure, I'm putting in SBOMs from an SPDX point of view into the developer guide. So getting some coordination there, I think, would be good. Anyway, I took a long time to explain that, but feel free, Matthew and others, just reach out and tell me what you want to do. And I would love to see this group contributing to that new standard.
Yeah, so how do you think we could work towards that, Karen?
I would like to propose, because you've had the intro to what is in 42001 and what is in 42003. Let me get Vicki Haley to come in, because as I say, she's going to do a talk at the end of April to the other Linux Foundation group, the framework group. And just get her ideas of how we could collaborate. But again, Matthew and others, if any of you are ISO members, you can take any comments and join that working group and then bring them forward. I suspect Microsoft is definitely an ISO member, and maybe some others are. So there's multiple ways to get your information there. But let me get Vicki Haley signed up for you guys to come to one of these sessions. And then I can send you the table of contents. And one of the things I'm doing with the other group is sections that are not filled in yet from all of us as member of that working group. If they're empty, it's free game if you want to propose words and then get it into the cycle of review. And I don't remember if transparency sections are full, like have words already or not, but I can find out.
And may I just pick up on one thing you just said there, and maybe this is for Mary to help out here as well. I'm from ARM. ARM is a member of the ISO group, but I'm not here representing ARM. We're here with the whole community, and the work that's gone in so far isn't ARM's work. It's this community and it's the Linux Foundation. So is
Right.
the Linux Foundation member of ISO? Can we contribute through the Linux Foundation?
Yeah. So Mary, feel free to ask. Maybe you'll be more successful. I tried, and there are some problems between Linux Foundation becoming an ISO member. Not sure that I quite understand, but maybe a different approach, and you can figure out why we can't. Because that would work, Matthew. It really would, if we could get Linux Foundation as a member of ISO.
Okay, I see. From my aspects, I'm trying to contact one of the employee or staff from Linux Foundation, which is Liza from the ISO and OpenChain. I will talk about this with her or him, basically, his name. So I will talk about this with him first, and then we see what's the next step.
That would be great. One other thing that is going on in the ISO world, they're actually creating a educational deck to train auditors on 42001. That might also be, that's not being done under the ISO umbrella. It's been third-party out. And again, I could connect you with those folks, and maybe some of this content could go in there as well.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing and the contribution.
No problem.
Other people have comments on either things that Karen's presented or what's been presented on the screen?
No.
I think.
I just want to point out like one minor thing in the slide. Sorry.
Go for it.
So the to my understanding, the data size property on the slide, it's from the SPDX 3.0 probably, or maybe inspired from. By the way, in the SPDX 3.1, we deprecated that one and used instead the more generic term artifact size, which we will share among all those software packages, whether it's like dataset, AI model, or the software application itself. Yeah, just a minor stuff.
Yeah, actually, so I see the latest versions of SPDX and they use the artifact instead. But actually, I think the SPDX merely provide a kind of data structures of describing in software and how to fully describe components. But actually, if we look into the AS bomb, there's a slide that's clearly described that AS bomb has generally two or three components, which are data, like foundation models, and some kind of a training architectures. And if we look at the artifact size, it need to be mapped into one of the specific components, right? Either it is a data set size or like even model size, and the artifact should be mapped into one of the very physical components so that people can easily understand what does the metadata represented, right? So the objective to do that is really to define what is really contained in that bomb, in the SBOM, and to make consensus among these like industry and academia to align with the concept and also the component within, so that we can carry on the future work, such as the self-certification, or we can put it in some kind of regional legislation, like the Europe CRA, and some kind of some other countries in Asia also working on the transparency issues. And we can also carry the idea for them to consider. I think that is we need to have very clear definitions and some of the clear representative metadata, so that they can clearly understand what should be tested. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. That's the idea that we looking forward as well. Just to share a bit as further on this dataset side as well. From our discussion in the SPX AI working group, particularly on the regulatory compliance. One of the I just share you in the chat. This is some of one of the spreadsheet that we try to work to map the SPDX 3.0 term, and also some of the proposal for the 3.1 term to the one of the requirement from the EUA Act regarding the generative AI training data set transparency. There's a debate, and it's not settled yet about the data size in a way that when we're talking about the size of the artifact, previously in the software world, right, traditional one, it tends to be about bytes, kilobytes, and so on, right? But from the regulatory perspective, what they actually have more interest about is actually in terms of the unit, is a token. So there's actually a little bit of mismatch here. And currently, in SPDX, whether it's like 3.0 or 3.1 RC1, right? The unit it's still in bytes and not in the token yet. And there's currently we still like discuss whether how to actually accommodate different kind of unit size for the regulatory purpose. And I think that's one of the thing. I think maybe in the interest of the OpenChain working group as well to consider a different kind of units. Thank you. By the way, in the spreadsheet, if you look at the row 18, that's our discussion.
Right.
Can you just share your screen there and just talk to that point?
Oh yeah, I can do as well. But by the way, the link is already in the chat. But I can show my screen as well. Moment, please. You see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the row 18, it's the training data size.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, SPDX 3.0 term, we use dataset size, which is like a property that is part of the dataset package class, right? In 3.1, because we already have an artifact size, which is like more generic and share across all the subclasses of the data, I'm sorry, all the subclasses of the software package, which is also include the dataset package, right? So we decide to drop the dataset size and use the generic one instead. But the data range, data type, it's still like the same, right? Which is like the non-negative integer, and the unit is presumed, right, to be the bytes, right? But then the discussion whether like this is actually enough for the regulatory purpose in the context of the EU AI Act, because what actually asks from the template that provided by the Commission, it's in tokens and not in bytes. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
Karen, you've got your hand up. Is that still from before?
It's to add to Art and Weibo's comment. So Weibo, just so you know, SPDX 3.0.1 is actually with ISO, and it actually has an AI bomb as included in that. So that's what's going through the system right now to get sort of approval. Hopefully it will become the de facto standard for AI bombs right now. But what Art is trying to say, we've had a lot of discussions as part of the SPDX SBOM group of changes that we would like to propose as part of 3.1. And they're in sort of a release candidate type mode right now for people to explore. But I guess my question really is, I think with your SBOM guide, it's based on 3.0. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, Art's just flagging to you that there are, not problems, but there will be changes coming your way with
In fact,
the next version.
if I may just say, it's related to 3.0 because we were writing the guide when 3.0 was the latest version. I wouldn't say there is anything specific in the guide that says you have to have package data.artifact size rather than data size. So I don't
Gotcha.
think that the version change in SPDX is going to affect this guide.
Yeah, it's the right, in my opinion, the right version to go with because we're still working on 3.1. It's not sort of, the final product yet. It hopefully will be in this calendar year, but it's still, and as Art gave you our working spreadsheet of changes that are coming and how we're mapping to like the CRA, because Weibo mentioned the EU, and we've done in the past a mapping to ISO 42001 as well. Just to make sure we have all the fields that are needed in the AI bomb.
Comments from anyone else? Okay. So Brian, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to relay back to Dave, but from what I'm hearing from this group today, and I guess we need to get some confirmation from Dave, we're working towards combining what we have or with an ISO standard rather than us creating our own ISO standard. Things may need updating in that guide to reflect some of the new terms in 42001 and 42003, which is what we saw present earlier today. And hopefully we can work with Karen to get some of her colleagues to come along and present to see how we can get into those guides. That is certainly, I think, a direction. I don't know, maybe I'm putting words in people's mouths, that this is what this group wants to do. And so therefore I just open it up for that discussion. Are we comfortable with that as a direction for this group?
Hey, Beth, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I'll pull Dave in offline and we can chat if need be. But I similarly would like to hear the group's perspective and reaction to that approach.
Hi, this is Mary. I don't think it makes sense to try to form our own standard when we have 42001 out there. So this seems logical to me to consolidate and synchronize instead of trying to forge a new duplicative thing, perhaps.
Right. Great. Thank you, Mary, and thank you, Brian.
So, Mary, I think this is probably a topic for discussion at the next board meeting, to say we've kind of worked on this problem and this is what this community working group believe, and hopefully we can get support from the board to progress in that direction.
Yes, this will be one of our topic in our Q2 board meeting.
Okay, so that was, I guess, both items on the agenda today. We've also got a meeting on Thursday for Europe and Asia, which we will bring these slides to fruition to the audience there. And I can mention some of the points that Karen and Art have mentioned here today. What do we want to try and achieve next month? Is there anything that people want to try and work on for our next meeting? Or maybe we can see, Karen, if your colleague is available to come and chat with us on how we can get things into an ISO standard.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell me the date. I mean, as Weibo mentioned, ISO plenaries are in about 2-3 weeks. So most of us will be very busy, but after that, we'll be free.
So the 5th of May is the next meeting in this time zone.
So that would be perfect. So let me take that forward and copy Mary and yourself on my core. It's Vicky Haley is who I'm leaning towards. She's the technical writer for 42003, and she's putting together the course material for auditors as well.
Great. Well, we'll take that as an action. If you can try and coordinate to see whether we can get Vicky to come along to our next call.
Great.
Any other business?
Before we ending, I have a question to all of us, all the audience. Usually this video is recorded and we probably will, or we will publish it in our both OpenChain website and YouTube maybe. But due to the second part of the discussion, do you feel comfortable like if we don't cut off this? Because the second part, we have a lot of good discussion about the document as well.
Second part of this meeting, did you mean, Mary?
Yes, from after Xiaobo presented.
I mean, I have no problem with this being presented, published.
Great. If you have any issues or questions about this video, please let me know. Let's say in a week. I discussed also with our intern staff. We will publish the original video as it is because it will save a lot of admin time each time because we have so many videos with other work group as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, thank you everyone for joining today. Really appreciate it. We may see some of you on Thursday for the Europe Asia call, but in the absence of that, hopefully we'll see you on the 5th of May at this time. Have a good rest of your day, folks.
Great. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thanks, Xiaobo.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.